Hi everyone, welcome back to Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Today we're going to be visiting some of the very best bookshops in London. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name's Alice and I have way too many books. And despite that, I thought that today we would go and do some book shopping. And I am here in a new location, which is in London, and we're going to be testing out a new book called Book Lovers London. And Book Lovers London is a really excellent book if you want to go book shopping in London. Well, we're going to test it and see. So this basically contains everything book related in London, and we've got a couple of maps in the front. Of areas where there is more bookshops, I suppose. We've got a Bloomsbury map, Charing Cross Road map, and a Mayfair map. And of course there are other bookshops in other areas which are all mentioned in here. It's split into new bookshops and second-hand and antiquarian bookshops. There's also bits and pieces in this about different galleries and various like book binding and things like that, and also literary related pubs. And this was a early birthday gift from my dad, so I thought I would take you with me while I test out how good this guidebook is and find out how good some of the London bookshops are. So hopefully this is going to be a bit more of a vlog style visit to London, taking you with me as we explore some of the bookshops. So without any further ado, let's go and visit some of the best bookshops in London. Right, we're on our way to the first bookshop, currently in Green Park, and we're on our way. We've just passed Buckingham Palace, which I will put some footage of in here. So we're on our way to Daunt Books now, and hopefully be there in about half an hour. I forgot to say in the introduction earlier that part of the reason for this bookshop tour of London is because it's Independent Bookshops Week this week, so I thought it would be a nice celebration of that to go out and explore some of the London bookshops. Our first stop was Daunt Books in Mayfair, and this was an absolutely beautiful independent bookshop. Daunt Books started life as a travel bookshop, and there is a wonderful part to it where the books are arranged by country, and there was also a really lovely children's book section which I don't think I sadly filmed. The front part of the shop where all of the new titles are was really amazing, and this was definitely one of my favourite bookshops of the whole trip. I just had a really wonderful time in there, and the architecture of this bookshop is just absolutely stunning. So I would highly recommend Daunt Books as a place to go if you're visiting London, and particularly if you're visiting the Mayfair area. This is definitely the place to come. Let's explore the bookshop. Heywood Hill was our second stop, and it is a lovely independent bookshop with new second-hand and antiquarian books. So the second-hand and antiquarian books were in a smaller room at the back, and the front room of it has all the new books. Nancy Mitford once worked here in this building. Let's go and have a look inside. Hatchards on Piccadilly is London's oldest surviving bookshop, and it is absolutely wonderful in there. I had a lovely time exploring. The architecture in here, again, is just beautiful, and there was just so many books to see. This bookshop is now owned by Waterstones, but it retains a lovely sort of sense of age, and was a really lovely experience visiting Hatchards. Definitely worth a visit if you are in the Piccadilly or Green Park area. Our final stop of the day was Waterstones' flagship store in Piccadilly. Waterstones is a nationwide chain of bookshops in the UK, and this is probably their biggest shop, and it is absolutely huge. So we visited 6 floors of books, and as you can see, it is absolutely amazing. So it was a great way to finish off a day of book shopping. Right, we are on our way back from Mayfair. We've been book shopping all day, and I may have bought some books. So we're now on our way back through Green Park, back to the flat, and when we get there I will show you what I got. Right, so it's much later in the day now. We've been out for some dinner and had some food here in London. I have hauled a few books because I liked the idea of supporting some independent bookshops. So I decided that if there was a book that I wanted to buy in any of these independent bookshops, I would get a book. And if you've seen my recent unhaul video, I have been trying to cut down the TBR a bit. And I know that it will go up this month because it's my birthday, and this trip is also a bit of a birthday treat to myself. So as promised, here is the haul from today. And we went to some bookshops. I would say that they are independent bookshops, but you'll have to let me know in the comments down below what you think, because some of them are, I think, chains of independent bookshops. So the first bookshop we went to was Daunt Books in Mayfair. In Daunt Books, I bought The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, and I have recently read both Clara and the Sun and Never Let Me Go by the same author, and really enjoyed both. So I thought the next one I would try would be The Remains of the Day, which is his other really, really famous book. So yeah, I bought this in Daunt Books and also got a bookmark from them. So that's exciting. And there's lots of information on here about Daunt Books, so that's cool. So that was the first stop on our trip around Mayfair, and the second bookshop we went to was called Heywood Hill in Mayfair, and that's definitely an independent bookshop. And in Heywood Hill I bought myself a copy of The Grifters by Jim Thompson. Jim Thompson is another author who I've read 2 books by already. I've read one called Pop 1280 and The Killer Inside Me, which is a brilliant book. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is a crime novel, I think about a con man. So I'm looking forward to getting into that one as well. And that was stop number 2 on the bookshop tour of Mayfair. So on our way back, we went to Piccadilly and went in 2 of the very biggest bookshops in London, one of which was Hatchards, which, well, I think definitely was an independent bookshop and I think is one of the oldest bookshops in London, but it is now owned by Waterstones, I believe. In Hatchards, I decided to buy the new Maggie Shipstead book, which I believe is a book of short stories called You Have a Friend in 10A, and I was really tempted in by the fact that this is a signed copy as well, and I thought it would be a nice souvenir of the visit. So it's signed by Maggie Shipstead. As you know, I really loved Great Circle recently, so I just had to buy this, and I also bought myself a Hatchards bookmark in there, so that was exciting. So that was the 3rd stop. And the 4th and final bookshop we went in today was the flagship branch of Waterstones in London, which is Waterstones on Piccadilly. I know Waterstones is not an independent bookshop, but it is a very big bookshop, and I also had lots and lots of points collected on my Waterstones card. I think I had about £20 worth on there, so I decided to treat myself to a book in there as well. And I decided to get Verity by Colleen Hoover, because 2 of my good booktube friends have been talking about this over the weekend. That was Ange from Ange's Book Chatter and Gemma from Gem of Books. On their recommendation, or on their talking about reading it this weekend, I thought I really have to read that book, and that was what I chose to get with some of my points in Waterstones. Obviously, I've done quite well. It was a really good book haul, but I think that's quite restrained for a bookshop tour of London, 4 books in 4 bookshops. But there is more to come tomorrow. I am expecting more bookshops and potentially more book haul. So I will check in with you again tomorrow. And yeah, hope you enjoyed my little book haul. Morning all, it's day 2 of the London bookshop trip, and we're going to be going and checking out some more bookshops today. Hopefully going up to Charing Cross Road and seeing some of the second-hand bookshops there, and possibly a little tiny visit to the big Foyles shop, but also looking out for more independent bookshops, hopefully getting up even maybe into Bloomsbury as well. So we've been out for breakfast, ready to start the day now, and I will take you with me when I can. And hopefully the next thing you'll see is some footage of book shopping day 2. Cecil Court, just off Charing Cross Road, is a very bookish, pedestrianised street, and many of the bookshops here are specialist or antiquarian. visited Alice Through the Looking Glass, which sells second-hand and antiquarian books and Alice in Wonderland memorabilia. And we also visited Goldsborough Books, which specialises in hardbacks and first editions. Any amount of books is a second-hand bookshop on Charing Cross Road with floor-to-ceiling shelves of books. Henry Pords also sells second-hand and antiquarian books on Charing Cross Road. Foyles flagship store on Charing Cross Road famously welcomes customers with the slogan, "Welcome book lover, you are among friends," which always makes me feel at home. It is a huge store featuring 4 sprawling floors of books and a 5th floor cafe. I recommend this shop for browsing potential. You could literally spend hours here. Last, we visited the London Review Bookshop, which is a fabulous bookshop in Bloomsbury, set up by the London Review of Books. This one has a great selection of new books and a cafe. I really liked the feel of this shop and it was one of my favourites of the whole trip. Sadly, a few bookshops in the Bloomsbury section of Book Lovers London no longer exist or have moved elsewhere, so I wasn't able to visit the Folio shop, Persephone Books, which is now in Bath, or Book Warehouse. And we're back again. It's been a hot day exploring the bookshops of London, and today was not quite as successful as yesterday. Charing Cross Road area was good for mainly second-hand bookshops, I would say, and didn't really find much to haul there, but it was good fun anyway. One shop we went into was an Alice in Wonderland shop, and I bought a notebook in there with the Cheshire Cat on, which is pretty cool and says Alice Through the Looking Glass on the bottom. So that was a little treat. And we ended up on Charing Cross Road after the second-hand bookshops, having a look in Foyles, which is always delightful, and had a coffee in there as well. Decided not to buy anything in there because we thought we'd concentrate on independent bookshops and move on into the sort of Bloomsbury area. We did find one really lovely shop, the London Review Bookshop, and I bought in there one book, Strong Poison by Dorothy L. Sayers. And I've skipped a couple in this series, but gone on to this one because I believe this is the first one with the character Harriet Vane in it, who is a character I very much want to encounter because I've heard her books are a lot better than the ones with Lord Peter Wimsey on his own. So I was glad to find this, and the bookmark from there sort of says London Review Bookshop, and at the bottom it says, "Fill your brains with ideas, your bag with books, and your mouth with cake," which I really like. It was a lovely bookshop, had a really nice cafe there too, although we didn't actually have anything, but really, really nice. Highly, highly recommend that bookshop. that is everything for the haul that I've had in London. So we had 4 books yesterday, a notebook and a book today. So plenty to add to the giant TBR. Really, really happy with this trip to visit the bookshops of London. So that's all from me today. I hope you've enjoyed coming with me on my tour of some of the famous bookshops of London. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Do let me know in the comments down below, what bookshops have you visited in London? I hope to see you all again soon for another video all about books here on Alice in the Giant Bookshelf. Bye for now.